Oftentimes when we start a project or we start a business, we think that we're going to have so much support from all of our loved ones, and typically that is not the case. When you start something, most likely you are going to be your number one supporter slash only supporter for a very long time. People around you will see your potential. People around you will know that you're talented. They know that you're going to go somewhere, but they are not going to be the people that's going to help you elevate and get to that position. Why is that? I think it can be for numerous of reasons. I think that when people meet you at a certain place in life, that's where they're comfortable with knowing you. So you growing out of that bubble, it's kind of hard for them to accept, like, this is not who I met. I don't know this person. I remember them acting a certain way. I remember them doing certain things. So when you branch out of your comfort zone, where you branch out of that box that people put you in, it's hard for them to accept the new you. So they just choose not to support. Another reason could be is competition. If you're doing something that someone else in your family or friends or neighborhood or whatever your situation is, if you're the first to do something, people are going to take it as like, who do you think you are type thing. So they're not going to support you. Also, another thing is, I have found that a lot of people like to ride the bandwagon. So when they see somebody being recognized or being supported and it's like a whole bunch of people, they kind of like follow the leader. You know what I mean? It's almost like no one wants to be the first supporter. Nobody wants to be the first fan. Nobody wants to be the first like root somebody on. But once they see everyone else doing it, then they kind of just follow in line. If you are very lucky, you'll have one person in your life, whether that's your spouse, your child, whoever. You will have somebody that also will be your supporter. If you're starting a business, they'll be the first person to buy your book. If you're, starting a hair care line, they'll be the first person to buy your hair care products, because having support outside of yourself is so important. But I think that it's not necessary to put that burden on yourself, because if you define yourself by other people's perception of you, if you define yourself by how much other people support you, they have the power to give it and they have the power to take it. And that is extremely dangerous for you. It can be very discouraging when you feel like you do not have support, but I'm almost certain most business people, most entrepreneurs, most millionaires, billionaires, CEOs, when they first had a vision, most people around them did not believe them. Most people around them doubted their ability to be able to do whatever they were doing. And then it's almost like once they feel like that person proved themselves and they see other people supporting, they see other people benefiting, it's like they don't want to be left out. So now they will support you. But you got to think, say you start a business in 2000, right? Your business don't take off for 10 years. Throughout them 10 years, you have to be your biggest supporter. You have to advocate for yourself. You have to validate yourself. You have to keep reminding yourself, one, you have a reason why you're doing what you're doing. Always remember your why. Two, you are your biggest supporter. So if somebody else does not see your value, that does not take away from your value. You get what I'm saying? And then by come year 10, when people were like, oh my gosh, this is great. Who is this person? They're so interested. There is 10 years worth of history that they can go back on. There is 10 years worth of history that they can reflect and see where you started at. Most people, at least for myself, maybe I should speak for myself. When I find somebody that I'm interested in, let's say like a social media content creator, right? And I come across their video, most likely the video that I come across is one of their thousands of videos. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's a video that they have made long after they started their purpose. And it seems like so precise, they're so skilled, they're so talented, they're so knowledgeable, whatever the case may be, right? When I find people like that I connect with, I instantly want to go back to the beginning. I want to see how they started. I want to see their journey. I want to see like what struggles they went through. I want to see how they overcame things. I want to see, how transparent they were. I want to see the beginning, because in order to know the ending, you have to know the beginning. And if you give up in the beginning stage, you're never going to get to your final destination. You're never going to get to where you know in your heart that you're destined to be. If you feel like your support has to come from other people, and that's the only way you're going to keep going. Like I said, because the moment you have that mindset, people can give and people can take. So that's why I feel like it's very, 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 very important to be your own cheerleader, be your own supporter. And when people start gravitating towards you, that's great. But do not allow that to be your identity, because I have fell victim to that. I'm sure many other people have fell victim to that. And truthfully, you do yourself a disservice not really realizing your own value, because your value, your worth, what you can bring to the table cannot be determined by somebody else. They do not understand what all it takes to be you. They do not understand what all it takes for you to create whatever you're creating, start whatever you're starting. So they don't know the ins and outs, the sleepless nights, all the planning that goes into it. They don't know all of that. So to give somebody on the outside that kind of power to be able to dictate if you're worthy or not, if you're valuable or not, if your business is good or not, it's like, it's not good. And I think as long as you keep yourself first, you keep your mind on your why, because there's going to be plenty of days you're going to feel like, I don't feel like my business is working. I feel like I want to give up. But no, God gave you that vision for a reason. He gave you that purpose for a reason. There's something burning in your heart that's telling you to do something for a reason. And even though it may not go where you think it's going to go in the time frame you think it's going to go, just do not give up. If it was not meant for you, you would never have a desire to do it.